Dume from Borno South emerged as Chief Whip, while Lola Ashiru from Kwara South also emerged as Deputy Whip of the Senate. Now, also going to the minority positions, that's position that position seemed to have been controversial with within the PDP, with the Wiki camp and Tambuwal, seeming to, be trying to get that position. However, a name that was hitherto unknown or really popular emerged as minority leader. The Plateau North lawmaker Mdukwon Davo was named minority leader, while Osun West lawmaker Kamarudin Olalere, PDP Osun West, was named deputy minority leader. Darlington Wokocha from Labour Party Abia Central was named minority whip. Now, if you go up to the House of Representatives, a similar scenario played out. Where certain names were named, but in the House of Representatives, it seems like some people believe that Wike may have emerged victorious over his other PDP, the other members of the PDP. As we have it this morning, we would be talking about all of these and more. I'm going to be naming some of those positions in the House of Representatives. Just to let you know that I have a guest in, Andrew Abu is joining us this morning. He is a member of the All Progressives Congress and also a member of the, dissolved APC Presidential Campaign Council. And he's joining us this morning to, have this conversation as we see that the party secretariat, as it is, with the chairman of the party not being happy with the emergence of the majority leadership in the House of, in the National Assembly. Andrew Abu, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you this morning. Let's get into this conversation. So, just after the National Assembly principal officers emerged yesterday, we saw that the chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Abdullahi Adamu, has stated categorically that the party is not aware or has no hand in the emergence of these principal officers of the National Assembly. Many have said, well, that the resolution happened between the presidency and the caucuses of the party in the National Assembly. You have worked at the National Assembly. You understand the workings of the National Assembly. Bring us up to speed. What is the procedure for the emergence of principal officers of the National Assembly?
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Nacho. I'll just be very factual and straight to the point. So, the business of the National Assembly is strictly for the House of Rep members and the senators. While I support party supremacy, when it comes to the National Assembly and the issue of presiding officers or principal officers, it is solely within the prerogative of the members and senators. Okay, so I understand how the party chairman must have felt, that what the planned or what he expected or what he would have preferred did not play out. But I think what is more important is the fact that the senators and the House of Rep members are happy with the choice of the principal officers that emerged yesterday. And for us, I don't want to delve into the narrative where it is what the presidency wants and what the Senate wants that played out. The chairman, there are caucuses in the National Assembly, okay, and most times names of principal officers after the emergence of presiding officers, names of principal officers will come from caucuses, to, the floor of the House, read by the Senate President. And pretty much that was what happened yesterday in both houses. And at least from what everybody can see, it was rancor-free. We didn't see anywhere where the senators daggers drawn, So I like to commend the Speaker and the Senate President for carrying out a successful first assignment.
Well, interesting enough, some lawmakers say they were not carried along, even though the members of political parties, they said they didn't know where signatures were collected, they didn't know where the names emerged from, for some of the opposition party members especially. But then we see this, and people are saying, look, there seems to be a crack in the APC. If the party chairman is not in consonance with what's going on at the National Assembly and has vocalized that, or has been vocal about it of recent and spoken clearly that he is not aware, or the party is not in, or has no hands in on any of this, does it really reflect? Because analysts are saying, look, the presidency and the party chairman may have a rift going on, or a Cold War. I think the Guardian newspaper reported it as a Cold War between the president and the chairman of the party. If that's the situation, what do you see playing out in your party? Because people are saying that, it seems like the president still holds a grudge against the party chairman, especially regarding the primaries, or activities leading up to the primary elections, where it seemed like the chairman had a favorite who wasn't the president at the time.
Okay, so I'm happy you mentioned that in time past the chairman had made a preference, which for some of us is not something that should even happen in the first place. Okay, but I don't want to be dragged into whether there is an issue between the presidency or the chairman of the party, or if there is a crack. There's definitely no crack in the APC. So at least I've not read anywhere where the NWC, headed by the chairman, has come out to put a statement, signed by the National Working Committee of the party. So this might be the reflection of the national party chairman, which is within his right as a person or as an individual. But is that the reflection of the party in totality? The answer is no, because these principal officers and the members of the House of Rep and Senators are also party men, and nobody is less a party man or more a party man than the other. Okay. The National Assembly is an arm of government, and it is an independent arm of government, and the business of the National Assembly is the business of the members of the National Assembly, stemming from the House of Rep and the Senators. Okay, so what is more important here is the fact that, yes, so for every outcome, there will be a few people here and there that might not be comfortable or not be happy about the outcome. Of course, there are interests. Politics is all about interest anyways. So, but you see, so far, the outcome of yesterday's emergence of the principal officers of the National Assembly has been one that the members of the National Assembly are not at daggers drawn. And I want us to be very clear at that. Okay? So anybody from the outside who is not part of the membership of the National Assembly would only just be wishing and suggesting that it went how they wanted it to go. But it is incumbent on the National Assembly to pick from amongst them, because they are equals. Okay? The slogan of the National Assembly is first amongst equals. Okay? So whatever position, whether be it principal officers or presiding officers, it will always come from amongst them. Nobody externally is going to go into that into that house to go and vote or canvass for vote in the chambers of the National Assembly. Okay, so be that as it may, I think we should move on. We've got a country to run, and there are a lot of challenges. You know, fuel is selling at 540 naira per liter. There's a whole lot. There's a gamut of things that needs to be addressed. The ministerial list is waiting to be sent to the Senate for screening. You know, that is going to take another 1, 2, 3 weeks. You know, and time is of the essence. So I think we should focus on how, you know, the National Assembly can start dealing with the business of the National Assembly, and the executive can start attending to the issues of Nigerians.
You just took me to, I was going to get to this, but let's talk about it now. The ministerial list of the president, the National Assembly reconvened yesterday, 4th of July. And going by that, you would see that it's been over 30 days since the inauguration of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. And there is a law that exists now that that mandates the president to form his cabinet within 60 days. As we speak, about 25 days to assemble a team that would work with him. Do you see this happening in the next couple of days? And what kind of screening will the National Assembly be doing within 25 days to, screen all, 36 ministers and even, especially 36 ministers?
Okay, so it is also important to let the general public know that the National Assembly, regardless of them going on recess, they can always reconvene at any time. You know, it is within the purview of the principal officers and the presiding officers, you know, to call for an emergency reconvening of the House. So that is not a problem. If there is a business that needs to be attended to, they will reconvene and it will go on. We've seen that happen in time past, you know. Now, I don't think the reason why. So for the reason why the ministerial list have not even been presented is just because of this whole process of the National Assembly getting their principal officers put together so that the business of the House can start in earnest and in full. Okay, that has happened, and they've gone on recess. Now, recess usually after events like this just gives the senators and the members an opportunity to, you know, have some level of rest and, you know, do some other conversations around, you know, how they can better run the affairs of the National Assembly. Okay, so in the coming days, between now and next week, I'm sure the letter will be transmitted to the Senate, and, you know, they will start the screening of the ministers. I don't think it's going to. I'm sure there's going to be an accelerated screening of the ministers, and the period allowed by the Constitution will be met.
Let's talk about, you know, looking at this now. As a Nigerian, are you worried that if we have a National Assembly that would be considered to have been pocketed by the presidency, it's going to augur well for us as a nation? Many people criticize the Ninth Assembly, saying it was a rubber stamp assembly and all of that. With what's going on now, where it seems like the presidency or the president is having his way a whole lot with the National Assembly, do you think that this there would be a departure from what really happened in the Ninth Assembly, but, you know, in the 10th Assembly? Looking at that, I need you to just critically look at this, because the National Assembly has three critical roles: make laws, oversight, and then represent the people. Now, if the people are not satisfied with the level of representation that is being offered by the legislators, you know, isn't that them not living up to the expectations?
Okay, so I don't know what you mean by when the National Assembly is pocketed or is seemingly pocketed by the president. But so here's the thing. I think a lot of times people make statements about the Ninth National Assembly without recourse to the enormous things they did. You know, the Ninth National Assembly passed the bill, you know, that brought about the electoral voting process, the electronic voting process. The Ninth National Assembly also passed the bill of the not too young to run, and a whole lot of bills.
Electronic transmission of results, you would say, because we don't have the electronic voting yet.
Okay, so you see, at the end of the day, by my estimation, has the Ninth National Assembly, did they live up to the expectations of Nigerians? Yes, so maybe a lot of Nigerians felt they fell short of, you know, the expectations or the things they expected from them and all. But you see, the business of the National Assembly is straightforward, and I think if I want to score the Ninth National Assembly, I'll score it 80%. Okay. Now back to the 10th National Assembly. I don't think, because we have three arms of government, the three arms of government is basically constitutionally is for checks and balance. Okay. So but I don't think the constitution or the checks and balance between the three arms of government is to go at war or go at each other's throat. Okay, so we must have, and so far we have seen, don't forget that this 10th Assembly is one that has more opposition, you know, from different political parties. You have the NNPP, you have at least even from the principal officers, you can see how the minority leadership position was shared. Okay, now, National Assembly is to work in synergy with the executive to deliver the good of democracy to the people, okay? Because the people they represent wants to see the good of democracy. They want to see that benefit of democracy. And I don't think the idea of National Assembly leadership or National Assembly working in synergy with the executive arm of government defines or proclaims that the executive arm of government is pocketing the National Assembly. We've seen situations where even the Ninth Assembly that people have criticized the most have gone against what the executive wanted. They rejected bills from the executive. They rejected a couple of things, you know, that was proposed by the executive. Okay, so moving forward, I think Nigerians need to really, really pay attention, because I don't think a lot of people even understand the workings of the National Assembly. I've interacted with a couple of people this period, and you will know clearly that a lot of Nigerians are not even aware of the processes and what is expected of the National Assembly. Okay, so let us you know, stay positive and believe that whatever that is going to happen with the 10th Assembly, with the 10th National Assembly, is one that is going to be in the favor of the country and Nigeria as a whole. You know, there's work to be done.
Let's look at, you know, the personalities at the National Assembly. Many people have described Senator Godswill Akpabio as a strong man, and not just a strong man, but a high-ranking senator at that. And now, you know, they always say that, you know, in a ship where you have, you know, two strong men, sometimes it doesn't always all go. Do you think that this relationship between the presidency and the National Assembly as it is, especially the president of the Senate and the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, do you think that this relationship would, you know, would last, you know, the long haul?
I don't see what is going to stop the relationship if the purpose of all this is for the growth and progress of Nigeria. Okay, and we're talking about two people from the same political party, and the agenda is clear. There's a manifesto. There's an 88-page manifesto of the president. And I think the people that are, especially the members of the APC, that are in positions where this document has to be achieved for the betterment of Nigeria must work towards it. And that is why, for any support you give as a president, you give to people that are going to drive your policy and programs, that you think is going to, benefit the whole of Nigerians, and which is basically what I think is going to play out. And I'm very positive about it. I'm very, very positive about it. Senator Godswill Akpabio is a man with repute. He has been tested. We've seen the things he has done, and I mean, he's not new to the business of National Assembly. He knows how these things works, and he knows what the president wants to achieve, and they're going to give their support and ensure that that happens. Of course, where there are gray areas, it will be tackled. We're not expecting that everything is going to pass by fiat. Questions will be raised, and a whole lot is going to happen. But the most important thing is it has to be, for the interest of Nigeria and Nigerians.
Okay, let's quickly touch on this before we take a pause. The National Assembly on its first day, especially at the House of Representatives, called for adequate or accelerated attention for subsidy removal and the palliatives to be put in place, and they said that was going to be treated as an emergency. But then it's been over 30 days, like I mentioned earlier, since the inauguration, the day that the announcement was made, and Nigerians are still waiting for the palliatives that would follow the removal of subsidy. The National Assembly, speaking of representation now, would you say that they have done what's required of them to ensure that this is given adequate attention and the sufferings of Nigerians are alleviated? Yesterday we heard that the governor of the progressive governors, rather the chairman of the progressive governors, speaking and saying that he really did not say anything that Nigerians could hold on to say this is going to happen anytime soon. I mean, days are counting. Like, the sufferings of Nigerians have continued. What do you think your party at the national level would do to, assuage this pains that Nigerians are going through?
So you see, Nacho, this is an important conversation, and I'm happy you brought it up. Now, you see, the fact remains that a lot of things that are going to go into providing palliatives for the citizens is not going to happen overnight. Okay, it's going to take a couple of process, and that process is going to take, because I mean, it was clear, and don't forget also that there's a steering committee, that is looking into this. The Labour Congress is in that committee. The Trade Union Congress is also in that committee. Okay, then of course the federal government side. So it's a tripartite committee that is working day and night to ensure that the palliatives that will at least improve on the life of Nigerians will be put in place to ameliorate the sufferings of Nigerians. But you see, unfortunately, those things don't happen by fiat. I mean, it goes through processes, and also don't forget that no matter how much we want to run away from it, there's the reason why subsidies even being taken away or was taken out was because it was clear that the economy of the country down, drastic, of course it bites hard now, but measures put in place will see, and that is in the coming weeks, that the amount of fuel or the pump price for fuel is going to drop, from where it is currently, because a few marketers have been given, license to bring in refined, fuel, and government have given that allowance. So that is going to, form part of, reducing that heavy burden on Nigerians. So yeah, unfortunately, we would have to tell Nigerians to be patient a bit, and we're very resilient people in this country, and we are very patient people, and I'm happy that a lot of people can see, at least have a reasonable number of people can see the direction the president is moving towards. It's gonna be a bit tough and rough, for now, but everything is going to ease off in due course.
All right. Well, the conversation continues. We're going to be talking more and talking about where the direction of the Tinubu administration in the next 50 something days, about 55 days that would mark the 100 days in office. We're going to rather 70 something days, right? Yeah, 65 days or so that would mark the 100 days in office, and what we hope to see on ground. Within that period. Stay with us. The conversation continues here. My guest has been Andrew Abu, a member of the All Progressives Congress and a member as well of the dissolved Presidential Campaign Council of the All Progressives Congress. Stay with us. We'll be talking some more.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Have you ever wanted to try your hand at the South African Powerball? How about the New Zealand Lotto? Now is your chance. Betway gives you the opportunity to bet on hundreds of international draws across the world with lucky numbers. From the UK 49s to the Ireland Daily Million. Feel the thrill of getting in on the fun. Find your favorite lucky number draws today at betway.com.ng. No under 18. Bet responsibly.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Please listen to this announcement. In a world driven by technology, the key to success lies in acquiring high-income digital skills. Now, you have the opportunity to unlock your potential and earn while learning. We present to you Project 25, where you learn from industry experts and get to help to acquire the knowledge that will transform your financial life today and in the future. This event will hold on Thursday, 6th of July, 2023 at ShopRite, Navari Hall, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja. Time, 5:30 p.m. For reservations, text 25 to 090 91 15 51 41. That is 090 91 13 51 41. Project 25. Earn while learning and experience the difference. Terms and conditions apply.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
And the conversation continues. We're talking about the National Assembly as well as the trajectory of the Nigerian nation under the Tinubu administration. My guest has been Mr. Andrew Abu, who is a member of the All Progressives Congress, sharing thoughts with us this morning. And it's been an interesting conversation. You two can join in with your 2 cents and let's talk. 090-73 530044 and 090-8766-8888. I'll bring in a caller and then we get back with my guest. Hello. Okay, lost that one. Try to call back. 090-73 530044. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning, Elder Noja. Good to have you.
Elder Noja is my name.
Welcome.
Good morning, my guest. Thank you that you.
Good morning.
To Nigeria. Hello.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you that you come to speak to us in Nigeria here. National Assembly. I give the only 40%, not 80%. The state to supervise the government or corruption in the government. They not take the government. And then the way government run in here, they refuse to take it. So I'll really give them 40%. And then your administration now, your president administration now. The person you put as I'm not a politician, I don't belong to any party. I'm a spirit expert. The person you put as a president, Senate president now, up your mind, you put him there. Do you think he's going to perform what you want in Nigeria? And then I will advise you, as a member of the party, if you can get contact with my president, President Tinubu, removing petrol is not the way. Let it dissolve the NNPC first and know what is subsidy. And then two, the refinery, the money they pump into refinery, the refinery did not work. To find out from that place. And then they are locating crude oil to those refineries every day. And the NNPC is carrying it for everything. Crude oil, go and refine it and bring it to Nigeria to sell. Let him dissolve the NNPC and budget first.
Okay.
And two, I have message to give to government. If the government going to stop up everything, security in Nigeria, let government call a security conference now, security conference. Call all the district general, the entire head of state, the entire inspector general of police, chief justice. Let them meet together. Let them advise the government the way out. Because the people we appoint as security now, they are, hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
They are on the field before. They need a special advice, way out from insecurity. I want Tinubu to succeed. And that's why I'm passing this message and send you this message.
Okay.
Let me call the schooling conference immediately.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Elder Onoja. We'll get back to your thoughts shortly. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good
morning, BB Blessing. Good to have you.
Good morning. Oh, God bless you, yeah?
Welcome.
I really they appreciate you now. Now when I be worker for region. Now I really they carve Nigeria that if no forget this one we dey talk, no be this one we go talk now. Concern fuel subsidy remover. We thank God they say don't remove a ban, we don't hear. But I always they ask question now. Please, may you no vex, don't be annoyed. This money now where they don't recover now. Only question where I always they ask for this radio. Wait till our president go take a do for us. Now we war here. Now we know the Buhari way come out before our president. He recover money. Till today we don't know what they use that money do for Nigeria. Okay, this one now don't come again now. Recover. The one way don't recover now for that sources the way they move. The money way don't recover now. We shall count where that money they enter. And now waiting they want take a better Nigeria. Waiting what use that money do. May we know so that may Nigeria might calm down. Because if you continue to busy recover, after all we don't know what you use that money for. You go be like you not recover anything. Okay, now so the price of market now go to the market. I hear they don't open border. Fine, good. They don't open border. Is there every border they open or what particular border now they open? I don't really understand. They open border now. Go to the market. Things are getting increasing.
Okay. All right,
be patient. I always ask. Are we a patient dog? We there for hospital? When we be patient, people they are dying. Say, may we be patient. Please, make they do the needful. Please, you know what come out. When we come out, not be this one they go talk.
Okay,
bye-bye.
Thank you so much for calling. Mr. Abu, it seems like the callers are more interested in, what's going on in the oil sector. The Elder Noja has called for the dissolution of the NNPC and probing of, the NNPC entirely, the subsidy regime. Now, I was going to talk about that because we're seeing that the president has made certain moves, the firing of the CBN governor, and suspension and arrest, subsequent arrest of the CBN governor, that of the EFCC chairman. But then the NNPC that is said to be the cesspit or a cesspool of corruption in the country, nothing has really happened in that, in that regard. What do you think the president should do? Should we not see certain probe going on in the NNPC and bringing that to Blessing's, submission about the monies recovered from subsidy? We got reports that 400 billion naira has been saved from the, non-payment of subsidy in 4 months, rather in 4 weeks. How do you respond?
Okay, so I share in her sentiments and I share in her emotions. Okay, but we can patient and to keep the faith. Okay, now, yes, so monies have gradually started being recovered, because of the removal of subsidy. And I think a lot of people need to even first of all understand, the burden of subsidy and the kind of the huge debt burden it puts on Nigerians. So while we are recovering money, don't also forget that government over the past years have been borrowing money to even pay the subsidy. So we are in debt, okay? So we are in huge debt that we need to send, okay? So when you talk about payment, when you talk about recovery of money or monies that are coming in from the removal of subsidy, we still have debts that we are paying, okay? And the monies that have the 400 billion, for instance, for just last month that has been recovered. Let me not even call it recovered. That was saved from the removal of subsidy. It's like a drop in the ocean as compared to the amount of debt we are even owing. You get. Also, don't forget that the federal government gives every state monthly allocation. Okay. Now I understand that the monthly allocation of states increased for last month, and that was due to the removal of subsidy, and certain percentage of the proceeds were, shared among states. Okay. So we need to put a whole lot of things into context, and I know that in the coming days the government is going to break down, how this financial appropriation, is going to go, because it's going to be a very transparent, process, and the government is going to be very, very transparent and open to Nigerians to see where the monies are being put into different things and where the monies are going and the monies that are recovered. Okay, because if the government hadn't put it out there, nobody would have known that 400 billion was saved, last month from the removal of subsidy. Okay, so so unfortunately we are not where we should be in this country. We all know that, and it has been a fault, a structural fault that has been there from time immemorial, and this is not making excuses. We are at a point where we need to correct a whole lot of things that are wrong. That have affected this country and have put us where we are today. And somebody has taken the bold step, to correct those anomalies, that have bedeviled us for decades now. And if there is anything we need to do, is to support that process and see how those things can, how we can move past that phase of our country's development. Now to the NNPC, I also want to bring to your notice that, of course, they just unbundled NNPC in less than a year. Okay, so NNPC is more of a public liability company now. So because of course the law, the new law that is guiding it, I've forgotten the name of that bill now.
The Karma Act 2020.
No, the bill that unbundled
the
NNPC.
The Petroleum Industry Act.
The PIA. Yeah, the PIA. Okay. Now you see, NNPC is more or less like a public liability company. Now, government just have the stake of, I think, about 20% of thereabout. I'm not so sure now. But you see, at the end of the day, there are certain decisions that is guided by laws. Okay. Yeah. So while there are a lot of agencies and there are a lot of government agencies that are still under the NNPC and still overseen by the government, we cannot afford to shock that industry. Okay. So the government is taking their time, to understudy what is happening, because for a very long time the NNPC has not gone through any form of audit. I know that the Buhari administration tried to do something around that. I don't know how far they went, but of course all that recommendations led to the unbundling of the NNPC, and while the accelerated speed people expected to yield results is not happening, it doesn't totally mean that the positive results of the unbundling of NNPC, is not going to be in sight in a short period of time.
Well, the conversation about the unbundling of the NNPC is one that's also, a lot of Nigerians do not understand, especially considering the fact that the NNPC is described as a limited liability company, but the shareholders or the major shareholders are also still agents of government or agencies of government, ministries such as the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Petroleum, which also are, instruments of government. So at the end of the day, Nigerians are wondering, who are they declaring the profits to? If they make profits, who are those who are running these are shareholders? They're still government, but we'll leave that.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So there are shareholders, just like every public limited liability companies have. Okay. So there will be profit sharing, there will be declaration of profit, and what have you. Okay. Now, don't also forget that we've had challenges with foreign direct investment in the oil sector because the laws of the oil sector has not been very clear. So investors have been very, very weary and worried because they don't know what government policy is going to affect their business or their investment. So, but you see, with the passing of the PIA and the writing into law of the PIA, a lot of investors are interested in investing into that sector of the economy. Okay, and also even the deregulation of that sector has also given people some confidence that the oil sector is a field indeed to play in.
All right, let's bring in another caller. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning, welcome.
Am I onto the studio now?
Yes, this is Eagles FM. Go ahead, let's hear you, please.
Yes, God bless you. And then I just want to quickly appreciate your guest this morning. He's trying to do a brilliant job. But let me lay a foundation before I go ahead.
Okay, what's your name, please?
My name is Femi, and I'm calling from Wusetu.
Femi, welcome. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. I'm a serious Baptist. I hope you know what that means. Mm-hmm. So whatever I'm going to say in the next 30 seconds should not be seen from the point of view of an opposition. Okay. Right? Now, when Baba was campaigning, what made us so interested in his whole mission was this thing he always say, I feel your pain. Now, and you want to convince me that my president has feels my pain in 1 week of his assumption to office. We remove petroleum subsidy, we float dollar, we increase duty and all of that, and our pains, inheriting the people that are beaten and battered with poverty. No, sir. This is a right direction at a very wrong time. Now, you remove all of these subsidies. We're even hearing that they've removed the education subsidy too. So where will the poor go? And they keep talking about how patient we can be, all of that. Are we sure our patience is not being taken for granted here? You see, if it continues like this, you people will kill us. APC spokesman, you will kill us. We cannot survive. Okay, whatever. You said he was a member of their campaign. All of that. That was what you said in introducing him. So please, now it's so disappointing that whatever they said to MSC that made them keep quiet till this time, we don't know. But it will be worse now if the National Assembly is in their pocket. Somebody will need to tell them. They don't feel our pains. Maybe before entering that office, they feel our pain. But the moment they enter that office, they feel nobody's pain any longer. So God forbid that we will have this 10th assembly in their pocket. No. And now at the point Baba was saying, let the poor breathe. Now Baba has succeeded in killing the poor, no problems. But at least let even the poor be buried. Because now you die in the town, to even get you to the village is a challenge now. Baba should slow down on this and let the poor live at least. And the poor that he's trying to kill now, let them be buried. It's not now. We have reduced the country to a situation
I
where
take
states
exception
now
to say
reduce.
that the president is killing anybody. I don't think the president is killing anybody.
So when you can't feed your family, when you can't even go to work, when what you earn cannot even take you to work and back for, I mean, where is life again? You are only living. You are not existing. Let's not deceive ourselves. Some state governments now, some states are now even reducing the number of days people go to work. That is what we have reduced the country to. Maybe you don't see the frustration outside. That is why you think these policies are not killing. These policies are killing. And too much of it in just 1 week. And it's after then we will now return back to sit on the modalities of bringing up incentives. What happens to putting the incentives in place before all of these policies?
All right. Thank you very much.
What happens now? The young man told us that so many marketers have now been given licenses, and then the price of petroleum will likely drop. Why did we give them first, so that the place is flooded with petroleum products, and then we remove the subsidies? It's too harsh, sharp, and you say you will hit the ground running the very first day you enter. We don't know that this is how you will hit the ground running. You remove subsidies, and ministers are not even there to even drive the policy. Please, at their meetings, please just help us tell them, our guests, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Femi, for calling.
Please, let me just quickly chip in this before we close. So I want the caller and Nigerians to also know that yes. So the month subsidy removal started running actually happened a month after the president took over from his predecessor. Okay, now the budget of the 2023 from June did not capture subsidy anymore. So the subsidy removal, which was inevitable anyways, was not a direct making of the current administration. Okay, because you see, at the point where the unbundling of the NNPC had happened, there was no way the payment of subsidy was going to continue anymore. And in any case, the Nigerian government was even borrowing to pay subsidy. They were borrowing trillions of naira to pay subsidies. Okay, so yes, we have come a long way with the reckoning of problems we have as a people and as a country.
But Mr. Abu, look at it this way. We cannot speak of these things in isolation. We cannot divorce the Buhari administration from the Tinubu administration, because it is an APC to APC transition. And when that administration was going to wind down, they said they were not going to remove subsidy because they wanted the next administration to look into it and consult widely before the removal of subsidy. Again, they say that they didn't remove the subsidy at the time because they didn't want the bad blood to affect the Tinubu campaign, so that they're able to win election. At this point, we're finding it hard to reconcile the cement divorce.
So you see, I'm sure you would have seen even pre-election where the APC, where the president, then candidate of the APC, had said boldly that he was going to remove subsidy. Okay, so we're not running away from the fact that our candidate had said prior that he was going to remove subsidy. Okay, but the fact remains that subsidy wasn't captured in the 2023 budget after June of this year. Okay, so it was anybody, and you see, yes, so the government is APC to APC, but the individuals are different. The decision of President Muhammadu Buhari and the decision of can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
The decision of President Muhammadu Buhari or the policies of President Muhammadu Buhari can definitely not be the same as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Okay, and the actions taken will definitely not be the same. Okay, and I think that it is still early in the day for us to start, having naysayers come up to say that, they are not letting the pot breathe. if there is anything I know about the president, is the fact that the president is a very practicable person. He feels the pulse of people. There are a lot of clips and videos, of the president from 4, 5 years, 6, 7, 10 years ago, where he has spoken boldly about how much this country has to work so that our children's children and everybody will see Nigeria as a place of pride and a place of development. Okay, so I don't think we have a president that have not seen affluence, and the presidency is going to change his mentality of what he thinks about the poor, or how tough he thinks the country or the citizens are going through issues. Okay, we're talking about a president that has reached a certain pinnacle of wealth, career, and position. Okay, so I would keep appealing to Nigerians. Yes, it might look like the patience of our patients are taken for granted, but it is nothing close to it. We need to stay positive the way we have always been, because positivism, hope, and patience has always been what has kept us going in this country. And I'm telling you, this country is going to be better for it with this administration. The foundation has been laid already. No matter how much people would have criticized the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, there's a whole lot of good. There's a whole lot of good that administration has laid on ground. A whole lot of foundation that has been put in place that this administration will ride on and ensure that Nigeria is better for it.
It's a big good place to leave the conversation. Hope, the message of hope, patience, and perseverance. Nigerians should continue to be patient. The good